Peter Rabbit never forgot the sound, the loud gasp that broke the quiet of the morning and shook the entire garden. It was that moment when everything changed, the moment that sent Peter racing across the fields, heart pounding, before the sun had even fully risen. Someone had stolen something precious, something that didn't just belong to one rabbit, but to the whole community. And now, Peter had to find out who did it before the entire harvest celebration was ruined. The night before had been filled with excitement. The animals of the valley had worked for weeks preparing for the annual harvest festival, a tradition older than any of them. The centerpiece of the festival was always the great pumpkin, grown with care, watered every morning, shaded during harsh sunlight, and proudly kept in Farmer McGregor's patch under the protection of all the rabbits. It was more than a pumpkin. It was pride, history, unity, and the promise of a beautiful celebration for everyone. But when morning came, the great pumpkin was gone. Peter had been the first to hear Mrs. Cottontail's cry, and within minutes the clearing was filled with chattering animals, squirrels, hedgehogs, mice, robins, and rabbits asking the same shocked question: who would do such a thing? Peter's whiskers tingled with determination. He knew he had to find the answer before panic spread. And so, the journey began. Peter stood at the fence staring at the torn vines where the pumpkin once lay. His heart tightened. He remembered helping Benjamin and Lily smooth the soil just the day before. They had imagined how the valley would glow with laughter and lanterns during the festival. Now everything felt uncertain. Benjamin hopped up beside him, chest heaving. "What are we going to do, Peter?" he asked, voice trembling. Peter looked at him, then at their footprints scattered through the mud. "We're going to find it," he said. "No matter who took it. We can't let everyone down." Benjamin nodded, hope returning in his eyes. Together they headed into the nearby woods where strange tracks led deep among the shadows. The trail wasn't clear, and the boys had to rely on instinct. As they walked, Peter remembered the stories his father had told him. Stories about solving problems not with anger, but with heart, patience, and courage. They found a clue: pumpkin seeds scattered along the path. Benjamin's eyes widened. They couldn't have gotten far. Someone must be rolling it. Peter frowned. Or they're desperate. The thought bothered him. Why would anyone steal the pumpkin unless they needed it badly? The woods grew darker, and the wind rustled through the branches, making the boys shiver. Finally, they reached the old oak clearing. And there it was, not just one thief, but a small family of badgers huddled around the giant pumpkin. Tears shone in the smallest badger's eyes as she spoke softly to her siblings. Peter hesitated. The badgers weren't celebrating. They weren't laughing. They looked scared and hungry. Benjamin whispered, "We should take it back before the festival is ruined." Peter took a step forward, but then he heard the mother badger whisper, "I know it's wrong, but our food has run out, and the little ones haven't eaten in 2 days." Peter froze. His heart ached. This wasn't a crime of greed. It was a cry for help. Peter stepped out into the clearing. The badger mother gasped, protecting her children. Peter spoke gently. "That pumpkin belongs to everyone in the valley. We work all year for it." Her chin lowered. "I know, but I didn't know what else to do." Benjamin looked conflicted. The festival meant everything to them. But could they take food from someone who truly needed it? Peter took a deep breath. "If we take it back, the festival survives, but your family may not." Benjamin stared at him. "So what do we do?" Peter felt the answer rise in his heart, clear as sunlight after rain. "We share." The badgers stared at him in shock. Peter stepped closer and placed a paw on the pumpkin. "We'll roll it back to the garden and divide it. The festival can still happen, and your family can eat too." The mother badger's eyes filled with tears. "No one has ever shown us kindness before." And so, the long roll back to the garden began. It wasn't easy. Everyone pushed until their paws hurt, but hearts were lighter than ever. When the valley animals saw the badgers return beside Peter and Benjamin, many gasped, but Peter stood tall and told their story. Silence swept the clearing. And then Mrs. Cottontail stepped forward and said softly, "A festival means nothing if we forget what it celebrates: unity, gratitude, and helping one another." The great pumpkin was sliced and shared, half for the festival feast, half for the badger family who hugged their saviors with gratitude. That night, As lanterns flickered and music filled the sky, the valley realized something important. The pumpkin had been saved, yes, but something much greater had been gained, that a community had grown stronger. Peter sat with Benjamin, watching everyone eat and laugh. "You know," Benjamin said, smiling, "the pumpkin wasn't the real treasure this year." Peter nodded. "No, it was remembering who we want to be." And beneath the warm glow of the autumn moon, the celebration began, not of a harvest, but of compassion, courage, and understanding. And that, Peter knew, would be remembered far longer than any pumpkin ever could.